One of the best ways to sell more books is to publish more books, especially if you're going to publish in a book series. But if you really want to sell more books on Amazon and beyond, there are 6 things that you should do to launch a successful book series. Let me show you how. Now, I'm not going to go in order of importance because honestly, they're all equally important. Instead, I'm going to go from the beginning of the process all the way through past publishing. So let's get started. Tip number 1 is to make sure that you set up your Amazon Author Central page and always accept every book that you published right after you published it. So if you haven't set up your Amazon Author Central page, you're going to go to your KDP dashboard. You're going to go over to marketing. You're going to scroll here to Author Central, click on the marketplace. And in my case, I'm going to click on Amazon.com, click manage author page, and it will bring you to your author page. Now I have another video where I show you how to set up your Amazon Author Central page, and I'll include a link to that above as well as down in the show notes. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you have a cohesive layout and design for your book series. So I'm going to use the example of my travel softball puzzle books. Okay. So as you can see, it's pretty much the exact same layout. So clearly you can tell that they're all part of a series. The only thing it changes is the volume number and then of course the background color. So as you can see, it's very cohesive and it made it actually really inexpensive for my book cover designer because they didn't have to make a lot of changes between cover to cover. But also with the interior, want to make sure that whether it's a puzzle book or it's, you know, a written novel, it doesn't matter. You want to make sure that the interior layout is similar so your customer gets used to it. And it's something that they know they can expect from book to book. Even here, up here, you know, these are my softball Sudokus. These are published years ago, back in 2019. But as you can see, still a cohesive design so they can tell just by looking at it that it's all one cohesive unit. Tip number 3 is to be sure to set it up as a series. You know, I have people ask me all the time, you know, should I make my book a standalone or should I make it a series? And with very little exception, do I say make it a standalone. Most of the time I'm going to say, if you can, and it makes sense, make it a series for multiple reasons. First of all, let me show you how to make it a series. So in Amazon KDP, you're going to go to the book and you're going to scroll here after you put in the title and subtitle. There's going to be an optional series. Just add to series. So if it's book 1, you can put it in there. If it's book 2, you can just add it to an already existing series. And you just click on that and it'll look like this. So like Mimi's Adventure series, and this is book 2 in it. And so again, the reason why you do that, one of the many reasons is on the Amazon page, this is a buddy of mine, Chris Fox, and when someone searches on Amazon, they'll see below the title, book 7 of 7 right here. If you click on this, that'll bring the customer to the series page. And it's a page that has all your books in that series. So again, it's just one more way to have all of your stuff in one location on Amazon. And so there you go. Setting it up as a series is something that if you got to make sure that you do it actually in KDP, even if it's not like a sequential series, like they don't have to read book 1, 2, and then 3, you know, whether each book is somewhat standalone, but they're in the same universe, or if it's something like a puzzle book or, you know, other books like that, where, you know, they're still in the same system. You still want them to be considered a series because again, it makes things more searchable. You got an extra spot to put in relevant keywords, but also it's another way that they can cross promote each other because they have that link on Amazon's sales page. Tip number 4 may be one of the most important things that a lot of people forget to do, or maybe they don't know that they can do it. But if you are self-publishing on Amazon KDP and you have access to it, I strongly suggest that you create A+ content. Now, this is whether you're doing a series or not, but especially if you're doing a series, Amazon A+ content is a great way to make your book stand out. Make sure that the sales page really pops and stands out compared to your competitors. So an example of that would be, again, in my travel softball series, you know, I've got this, I got where it's kind of like in a wild where someone's actually using it. And then my favorite module that you're allowed to have on A+ content is the comparison chart. So right here, I've got, you know, 5 of the books in the series. And one, it shows all the covers. They can hover over and click and actually go to the sales page. But more importantly, they can just add it to their cart right now without even having to go to that sales page. They can just click and add all of them if they want. Okay. And then you can show the comparisons of what's in it. So this is an example of a puzzle book, but if you're doing written content and this book in the series is, more drama, this one's more, whatever, you can list that in here and show the differences and the similarities between the books in your series. Again, this is something that is so strongly underrated. A+ content should be on every book if you're allowed to put it on it. If you have access to it in your country and you're publishing on Amazon KDP, absolutely put in A+ content. Tip number 5 is to have a launch schedule. You want your customers to be able to anticipate when your next book is coming out. Now, ideally, especially if you're doing children's books or no content, low content books like puzzle books, if you can publish every month, that's ideal. And I'll show you why. Because every book, with the first 30 days that they are live on Amazon, they're added to a category called new releases. And the new release category is right here. So right now I'm in children's bear books. But if you see right down here, new releases. And every book for the first 30 days that they're live, they're added to these categories, the new releases. So if your book is in 3 categories and it's the first 30 days that your book is live, it's actually in a total of 6 because it's in those 3 categories. And then it's in the new release category in each of those categories. So you're doubling your exposure. Now, ideally, you want your book to be in the top 3 because those are the only ones that will actually show here. But if someone clicks on new releases, then it's going to take them to the new release and you'll see everything. And also with it being in the first 30 days, a lot of times it's easier to get into the top, 1 to 3 and be seen than for the long haul. So absolutely, if you're able to launch a book every month in your series, then every month you've got a book in the new release category for whatever categories you're in. And that's another great way to really continuously get exposure for your book and your series. And remember, Amazon's all about relevancy and they're all about, making money. And so if they see that you're publishing on a regular basis and they see that your books are selling, there's a much better chance that Amazon themselves are going to start promoting your book as well. So if you like the first 5 tips, then you know what to do. Give that like button a smashy. It lets YouTube know that this video needs to be shared with other people. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that bell notification so you get alerted every time I put out new videos, just like this one. Now let's get to tip number 6. Tip number 6 is after you publish your book to start running ads. The best thing is you only have to run ads to one book. And I'll show you that in a second. You want to make sure that you let Amazon know that you're serious about selling your books. And so especially running Amazon ads, that is the best way to really let Amazon know how serious you really are. Yes, you can run ads on other platforms like Facebook, but Amazon ads are, in my opinion, the best. One, they're super easy to run compared to the other platforms. 2 is they're fairly inexpensive. You can do it as little as $1 a day. And a lot of times Amazon doesn't even reach that budget. And thirdly, and most importantly, Amazon ads are on Amazon, which means it's a warm audience, meaning people already have their wallets out. And so you don't have to try to convince them to, buy something if they're on a social media platform. Whereas if they're on Amazon, they're already there. You just need to tell them to buy your book. And like I said before, the great thing is you don't have to run it to your entire series because you can have what's called read through. And even if you're doing puzzle books or books like that where they're not really reading, it's still read through where you show them one book. And if they like it, they'll continue to buy your other books. So let me show you. Right now, I'm just in children's books. And as you can see, this book is part of a series and it's the only one they're running ads to. Same thing here. My Father's Dragon. It's book 1 of 2 of the My Father's Dragon series. But again, they're not running an ad to the other one. They're just running it to this one. Same thing here with this one, the Big Dog, Little Dog, beginner books. There's 55 books in the series. But again, they're only running ads to this one because they don't need to run ads to the other ones, because if they spend the money on just one book and someone clicks on this one and they buy it, they already have a better chance of buying the other books that are in the series. So you don't have to run ads to 10, 20 books. You just run ads to just one of the books, whether it's the first book, the second book, whatever you want to run it ads to. Again, you only have to run ads to one book in your series. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed those 6 tips on creating a successful book series. Now, in the end, I was talking about running Amazon ads. Now, if you haven't run ads yet, check out this series right here where I take you step by step through the whole process of not only creating your ads, but even analyzing it and knowing what to do next. But if you've already seen that, YouTube says that this video is perfect for you. I'll catch you inside one of these videos and
I made the right.
you heard her.